What's up everyone, Alex here. So today is an action-packed day. I released my Visions of Mana review, which I'll link at the end of this video, but also this Nintendo Direct that just dropped today had like 5 JRPGs that I just need to talk about. And I know I don't normally post 2 videos a day, but this is too big to just ignore. And while I'm gonna slightly throw some shade to my other friends who decided to make a dedicated video on Trails in the Sky the First, which is, by the way, a really big deal, I don't want to miss the other big JRPG announcements out there. And in case you're wondering if we're going to be talking about Sea of Stars DLC today, it's DLC. The games that I'll be talking about today are about to come out, fully priced JRPGs. So I think it's natural to just talk about Trails in the Sky the First because this is a really big deal. And from what I saw, it's very reminiscent of Trails Through Daybreak without the crappy timeline during the turn-based battles. Now, based on the button maps and the 10 seconds of gameplay in the Direct itself, it seems to have some form of action combat, although you can make the argument that Estelle probably just missed the enemy and then attacked a second time to activate the turn-based mode. Either way, I feel like this is a precursor to TGS where we're actually going to be learning more about the game. But either way, this is something that the series has needed for a long time because I know some people, including my wife, who will never ever play the original Trails in the Sky because it looks old. But with Trails in the Sky the First, now there's a very good reason to go back and play those games and experience what this series was all about. And I'm very sure that the second and third chapters are in development as well. And I'm just gonna throw it out there to will it in a universe. And I know some people say like, oh, we've already played Crossbell a few times already. I want Crossbell to be fully 3D as well. I mean, the city's already made, right? Might as well just build the rest of it. Trails in the Sky the First. It's slated to come out on the Switch so far, but I have a feeling it'll be out on other platforms next year as well. The other big announcement is the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, which is finally coming out on March 6th of next year, 2025. And I will say this again, I have never played the Suikoden series. I obviously have played and reviewed the Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, but a lot of people still told me that I should go back and play these 2 games because you'll see the inspiration for a lot of the elements of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Now, the interesting thing in this post-Eiyuden Chronicles world is how much of Suikoden 1 and 2 gonna capitalize on some of the things that were missing from Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. And we're gonna see over the next few months what that actually means, and maybe we'll see more of this game in TGS because, let's face it, TGS is at the end of September, and we're probably gonna see a lot more information about all of the games that we're talking about today. As I said, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered is coming out on March 6, 2025 on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. Speaking of which, somehow we willed this into existence because we actually made a video series talking about which Trails games need to be remastered. And of course, the big announcement is that Trails of Graces F is getting a remaster. Trails of Graces F re-established the Tales franchise in the West after a dry spell, and we're going to be getting a remaster of this important title. While it's not the most complex narratively, it makes up for it by generally being a fun and lighthearted journey, coupled with an endearing cast to accompany it. But what if I told you that the Tales team looked to Trails of Graces F for inspiration when making Tales of Arise? The new mechanics introduced a completely new combo system that added a level of technicality that felt closer to playing a full-blown action game, and an entire combo tree unique to each character, which dramatically increased the speed of combat. To this day, many fans consider this to be one of, if not, the best combat system in the series, and it's finally getting a full-blown remaster. Tales of Graces F Remastered is slated to come out on January 17th, 2025 on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. Another brand new announcement is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, and I'm going to read stuff from the press release. They're calling this the latest entry in the popular action RPG and life simulation series, and introduces players to the lands of the East for the first time in franchise history. As an earth dancer, use the power of dance, sacred treasures, and fresh weapons like the bow and talisman to purify the land, farm, and undo the blight's damage. Sounds like Harvestella for me for some reason. Rebuild entire villages. Construct and place buildings strategically to entice people to return to the villages and contribute. Revive the gods to bring vitality and valuable resources back to the plagued lands. And as somebody who loves city building, this sounds like my jam right here. Choose between male and female protagonists, then befriend or romance any of the eligible candidates, god and mortal alike, in fully voiced scenarios. Recruit these new friends to aid in dynamic battles too. Well, sounds like a Rune Factory game to me, and when you compare the look of this game to Rune Factory 5, I actually like the fact that they went with this style of gameplay because you know that it's going to run better than Rune Factory 5 because that game was trying to run on a platform that just couldn't hack it. No shade to the developers, but I think this is playing on their strengths, and I have a really, really good feeling about this Rune Factory game. Guaranteed. Rune Factory: Guardians of Azuma is coming out in spring 2025 on Switch and PC. And last but certainly not least, because I'm a huge Atelier fan, is Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land. Now, watching the gameplay, it seems like it's got action combat, and it seems like continuously over the years, the series has been trying to work its way into like some sort of real-time system, and I hope they create something that is still really easy for turn-based fans to be comfortable with. After all, I think the onus is on Gus to be able to provide a battle system that has as much depth as their crafting system. And while I loved Rise's crafting system, I do hope that we kind of scale back in the complexity a little bit and create something that is easy to approach but have like layers of depth that make it really challenging to get to the higher levels. But as far as like close to the surface, I'm hoping that it's easier to understand. I think it's possible to do that. The gameplay, of course, features a taste of the alchemy and the combat system, and Koei Tecmo also wanted me to let you know that there's going to be a special live stream on September 2nd, which is at 9 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, and sadly only available in Japanese, where the dev team will share more information about the game. I am super excited about this as a huge Atelier fan, and this is the start of a brand new trilogy, and I can't wait to learn more about it. Atelier Yumia is coming out in early 2025 on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. And that, my friends, are 5 big JRPG announcements from the Nintendo Direct. Now, I have a feeling which games you're going to be gravitating towards, but humor me out here. Let me know which games you're really excited for from the Nintendo Direct, whether if it's something we talked about in this video, or something that I may have missed from the Nintendo Direct itself. Post your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about it. Also, I did mention that I reviewed Visions of Mana, and I absolutely love it, and it reminds me of 2 JRPGs that I consider as some of my favorite JRPGs of all time. I also made a sequel to my JRPGs that make you feel young, which of course makes you feel mature, but not old. You can find both of these videos right here for you to check out. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.